Hi, everyone. It's weird, huh? Seeing the person that stepped down from us and our friends doing videos. It's fun when you have, it's great when you have, people that should have, done something. But, hey, I'm still here. It's going to be a lot of that this video. Well, welcome. Montez is here.
I'm here. I feel like I've been absent for a very long time, but that's because work had me as their slave for the past 3 months. Honestly, am I lying?
No, he is not. He is not. I can back that up.
Yeah. So I was working my ass off, working my life away. Giving all of my time and cooperation to
the man.
Greedy, yeah, let's call it that, the man.
I'm not gonna front. Like when he texted me, like after all this was going down, like I'm not gonna lie, like there's times where like Montez is very emotional and personal. I could like feel how upset and like depressed you were. Like it really hit me. Like I remember you texted me that long thing on Facebook, and I was like, God.
Are you talking about when I first started working?
No, it was because when I made the announcement and I was like, hey, like I want to kind of talk to you and catch up and stuff. And you just sent me that whole thing of just like, yeah, man, I get it. I just hate my life. And I was like, God. You don't remember this?
No.
Well, hey, it's all good. See, this video is going to be the greatest final video. But yes, so clearly, despite things, you would assume that with me stepping down, it would be like, oh, no, this is what it is. It's over. So, but Montez and I thought it'd be the best to have Montez and I sort of just have a weird combo / rank them. It's a simple one. We thought it'd be clever. There was 4 figureheads, sometimes certain ones of them didn't act like them. And we're keeping this raw, baby. We're keeping this raw, uncut, unfiltered. Yeah. I'm not gonna try to do that as much, but I feel like I kind of got what I needed said to said people, so I don't feel as uncomfortable. So, but hey, I don't care. I'm not fucking cutting this shit. It is what it is.
Hey, look, it's some hot ass green tea going on right now. Green tea, not no regular tea, because we only drink that good shit.
Yes, good for your body,
Yeah.
Good for
and
your
it's
health.
got some honey. It's got some honey in it too. Not a whole lot.
Oh yes,
not too sweet.
Yeah, just a little dab of honey.
Little razzle dazzle.
Little razzle. But yes, I stepped down from us and our friends. I know Montez was sort of in a whole thing. I don't want to speak for anyone else. That's actually like a genuine, like, I don't want to speak on anyone else. I know, like, if they want to, follow them, their things, whatever. I'll be keeping everyone updated on my next venture. You can check me out at Channel BK, though, for now, my solo channel. I know Montez was just bringing up to me before this. He's finally getting back into the beat making. So I'm assuming once, like, stuff is put together and like more stuff from him comes out or news, whatever, you'll probably hear it from him. We'll leave our socials and all that below. And then obviously we'll like keep you all updated if you are going to be following us. If you are people that we don't know personally, like if you're people that found us that aren't just local here and whatever, hey, maybe come follow us. We have some fun stuff that's coming. But yeah, so I guess the way I was thinking about doing this, I know Montez kind of knows a little bit of it. I guess I wanted to mainly kind of just talk about, I thought this would be a good way for us to kind of talk about some things people don't know about. Like, honestly, like really interesting, not even drama, just like kind of interesting stuff. I guess the first thing is sort of the lead up of everything. I thought like us kind of talking about this initial thing, because that got me thinking about, God, what is that? Honestly, at this point, about 4 years ago, where we'd be at your place, like in the super fucking cold, and me and Alan would be sitting, and like we were trying to figure out, like we would go to Best Buy, and like we would ask the guy what kind of camera we should get, and like
oh man, yeah.
The
green screen.
I remember remember you
Yeah,
two
I
were like,
remember
I
that.
think we need a green screen. And I remember Alan asked the guy at Best Buy, and the guy's just like, you'd have to probably do that online. He's like, we won't have that. But it was just funny looking back at just how not stupid we were or even uneducated, just how like open-minded of like, hey, what should we do? Should we do this? Should we do this? So that was just really interesting and funny. Like those early days were so like bizarre.
The early days were, I feel like the early days were a little more random, but
Yeah.
it worked during the time frame because of the age of everyone, and everybody was just like, whatever, we'll
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
Nowadays,
yeah.
everyone's a little more calculated with everything.
Yeah. Because I remember that was like, I was getting over, I think, my second relationship. I know you were just kind of doing your thing. Alan was Alan. So it was sort of like that perfect timing of, yeah, like we would hang out. Like that was kind of when we kind of reconnected. Cause I know the end of 2017, you were working on your parents' house. And I know you kind of went MIA at that point. And I remember going into 2018 at that point, like we kind of, it wasn't as much as like the summer before where we were always all together, but I remember it being so often at that point, and like we kind of just would sit around and be like, well, what do we want to do? And we were so like, we had ideas that went places that were originally one thing, like the show with Alan, that idea, which I mean, I won't bring up in like detail because, you know, anything can be whatever in the future, but that was a whole thing that like had character progression.
I still borderline, if there's any way for that to ever happen, still, I still kind of feel like that should happen. But at this point, no, I can't even say that because that give it away. We'll have this off camera.
Basically, that initial time frame was sort of like, it was the first time where I think that was probably next to probably the beginning of the second relaunch, which I mean, and I guess like not even trying to be funny of like or cynical, but it is kind of ironic how like the first time we started and then when we try to relaunch it, those were kind of those two, like all these things kind of started clicking, and then just once it got going, it kind of just was. The second time went a lot better when we started. I think the first time was definitely like, obviously us having the channel end one time. Montez was basically, without him realizing it, basically became the main help. And like, I always joke, I don't know if I've ever said this like in videos. I know I've said it in conversations where I'm like, I feel like that was a moment in time where I always was scared that Montez was not like, he thought I was the worst person because I felt like I was always like, hey Montez, I need you. Hey Montez, this and this. And like, granted, if you did feel that way, you were a good actor because I didn't think so. You didn't seem like you were pissed off. Like, I felt like you were so down with everything. And like, I don't know if that was just kind of a case of, hey, if this is going to be the way it is, I might as well put my 2 cents in. And like, he was big on like I remember early on, you were big into showing like the whole, like when we did Lincoln Park, like that was something you were really interested in. And then Sleeping Bear was
I still got
his idea, technically, which kind of, I feel like was a curse due to.
I still have slight issues from that, actually.
Oh, like injury wise?
Yeah.
See, that's. But you were younger. We were more young and naive. Now we're old. See, now do that again.
Hell no.
I legit think you'd be dead.
Again.
Like you would die.
If anything, I would go down and climb back up again. It's just I'm not running my ass down next time.
No. Like, and that was what was so great about that first time was it was. Granted, it's never, I don't think like it something being structured or something being like loose, like because you were bringing up like it felt very random early on. I don't think either way is like better. I think structure is obviously better, but I think you tend to get more fascinating things when you kind of just let things sit. Like that's how a lot of these vlogs happen was like, and I'm going to probably bring this up. granted, there are maybe one or two videos that I'm like, I feel like we could have done better, or like whatever, minus the video that we took down, which who knows, maybe if I move on and have a new channel and that's going good, maybe if you support me, we'll put it back up and we'll show you how we kept it up. Because I think I kept it up for a while, but like if there starts to become like an urban legend about it, I feel like people are going to be let down because it's going to be so hyped up, and then they're going to watch and be like, oh,
And
okay,
they'll
I mean,
be
it
like,
wasn't
man, what the
good,
fuck
but
is
like, this is all it was. Basically, let's just say when we were focused too much on things that we were trying to get clickbaity with, well, besides one thing, which I'm actually excited to talk about because we kept a secret this entire time, but I feel like at this point, there's no reason to keep it a secret. I think you know exactly what I'm even though people, if they were smart enough, they'd realize said thing was not real. It just, I feel like when we just kind of focused on like individual things, I never hated a video besides like one or two videos. I really think everything we did was basically like, even if we were on a schedule, I felt like we kind of were like, let's do the things that we want to do. Like everything we did, like even like the hot sauce challenge that you, Alan, and I did, it's clearly like we were biting something like hot ones, but we were kind of like, oh, this would be fun. Like this is something we'd want to do. So it was never like we forced ourselves to do anything. Again, besides like the 2-3 videos, like we never really forced ourselves to be like, we're going to try and be like, oh, we should try and do this. We were kind of like, well, okay, what do we want to do? Or like, you know, what does Kevin want to do? What does Alan want to do? What do I want to do? What does Montez want to do? Montez, whether he thinks it or not, he kind of became that way the second time around, because even though he wasn't around so much, he still was always on it when it came to like just bringing ideas to the table, which was which made me feel upset knowing that like he was in his position, because it felt like there was always that fighting. Like I really loved, like there was a sketch we were gonna do like
Man,
last month, which
oh my
again, there's a lot of things that didn't happen that aren't dead. It's just lots of things happen. Now, granted, we may have to change some things up due to circumstances, but
I was gonna say, wait. So a perfect word for the suspense of these videos right now, they're all in purgatory.
Yes, they are. They're all in purgatory. Like all of these ideas that I felt like we were, you know, really excited to bring out there. And like, granted, I did not want us to feel like we forced anything. So I feel like a lot of the purgatory was more of like when him and I would talk, it would just be, we don't really have anything. Okay, well, we're not going to put the video out. Like, we're not going to force something. Like, we'll just, when it comes, you know? And so that was, like I said, like when it first officially fell apart, Montez has been the most real when it came to like the first time it fell apart. He was just like, I get it. I see it. I understand. And this time around too, it was the same thing. You're like, hey, you know, man, I'm so sorry, but you know, shit sucks. And you know, let's try and move forward from this. Like, like he's positive, but he's also like, hey, I get it. Like, I'm not just going to be like, dude, I can't believe that this didn't work. It was going to be so great. I mean, it upsets me that it ended the way it did, but I mean, you do what you can.
At the same time, though, I'm not gonna lie. I almost feel like it was probably time for it to end at this point, just based off of how everything was going for like the last few months.
Yeah,
like shuffling and just like.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think for me, it was just a burnout of just like feeling like
I'm doing everything.
And like, Montez, and like, it's complicated. And like, this is when, see, joking aside, like when I was joking earlier about some stuff, that's when I go, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, only because there's no reason to bring certain things up. It just, like you said, it is what it is. I got burnt out and I felt like there needed to be a certain way forward, and I found the next step. But I mean, crazy how everything happened. I think about when we shot that first teaser, and then when we went to McDonald's that day, and then like all those trips we took, and the whole joke about Alan having glass bones, I thought was great. just though that initial first year, as much as it was like a hot mess in a way, that was like that time where I just felt like we were just making just fun shit that was really
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't necessarily what's the word I'm looking for. I feel like back then it wasn't really pressure
No,
to get things out or to do certain things. It was a lot more laid back. It was more, all right, we got this idea. Come on, guys, let's get this together. Let's shoot
yeah,
it. Let's edit it and let's get it out here. Versus after the relaunch, it kind of just seemed like everybody was like, oh, when are we supposed to do this? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I don't really
yeah.
have time for that, but you know what? I'll try to make time for it. And
Well, and then it was just, it always became complicated because then, going to that second phase of everything, of like the relaunch, it was like we had one idea, move forward with it. So we came back with the original whole landscape of everything. And again, this is not even me being funny. Clearly, one person didn't work out. So then we moved, and then it was Montez and Costa. Clearly, one of those people didn't work out. And then, spoiler, it's Montez. And then, even though he's here right now. And then obviously we had Raina show up, and then like kind of how everything happened. And it was funny because I even remember telling my girlfriend, I was just like, if Raina, if this is the final, like that was, and I wish I even told Montez that. I don't think anything would have happened, but it was that whole, like, I remember being like, if this is my final test. Like if this is clearly where it goes again, I'm just like, I can't. It's like you were saying, like, it's like, why just keep putting up the effort, right? But there was good times in that. I think once we opened up our ideas more, and like everyone was getting involved in one way or another, like I said, like even though Montez, honestly, in that first year though, back, you were in a lot more videos than I remember. It was kind of like it was like last year really, where it was
yeah,
like I know your schedule got crazy, and then obviously the past couple months, but like he would still do, every time. I'll get to that when we get to like the goofs and the bad parts of the channel, because I feel like we're just like, I feel like we've covered more than I thought we should for this first part, but like there's something I actually want to bring up to you in that instance. But I think he would come through with a beat. Like Montez was always really good about communication in that way, and it gets difficult. Like it's the whole expression, like when there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many cooks, too many cooks.
you
Uh,
never.
that's a old reference. But like when too many cooks are in the kitchen, it just becomes a hot mess. But then when it's like they're all in the kitchen and one of the cooks is doing everything and the rest are just kind of like on their phones and stuff, then it just, it's like Gordon Ramsay just screaming, belittling things.
What the? Actually, can is this like completely unfiltered?
This is the most unfiltered thing we've done. I've already cussed a bunch.
I guess you have. I wasn't really paying attention to that. Maybe it's because I'm so used to cussing in my everyday life at this point. It's not good, but it is what it is, What the fuck is this? Is what Gordon Ramsay would say. I just wanted to scream that out.
If it was more raw, I could hear it cluck. Like some shit like that. Like if it was more raw or something, like I could hear it move. But anyways, I feel like there
Put
was
the bread on your
stuff
head.
in there. Yeah.
What are you? I'm an idiot sandwich. All right, I'm done.
See, I feel like, this, I knew this was how it was going to go. The structure was just going to go all over the place anyways, but we'll have more dedicated, like, low moments and funny goofs that we want to discuss, like more in-depth stuff. But I mean, yeah, in general, like just each era of the channel was very unique. And I mean, I agree and disagree. I do agree. I think I know what point you're making though, which is like, I think once it became scheduled, it was less of a, we need to get a video out on time. I think it just became more of like, once it was like a pressure, the people that clearly like it was trying to keep up, and like I think we were always just trying to develop like, okay, like if we have to put something out, like what would be best, and we would always move things, and I know like there'd be other things that would happen and we move other things and here and there and stuff, and so I just figuring out that momentum would have been good. But hey, you know what? Things happen. But we're not going to keep into the negative because our favorite videos, we're just going to do 2. That's how we're doing it. We're not even going to put it up as an animation. We're doing none of that. You have to watch this to know our top 4 videos. That's how we're doing it. We're not even going to put like number 4. We're not going to do that shit. Like, you have to literally come to this part and be like, hearing me go, number 4 is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we raw dogging all of y'all.
That's one way to go out.
Yeah, after I said it, I was like, yeah, I don't know.
So Montez, I'm gonna let you just say your 2. What's your number 4 and your number 3? You all don't understand. He's the most interesting one that I'm excited about because I want to know, like, he was so involved in a lot, but there's a lot he wasn't. So there's like a lot of weird. What could it be? I would fucking piss my pants if all 4 of our videos are the exact. That would be so just fucking bizarre. Like, I guess we only remember the good old days.
Oh my God, you shouldn't have said that because now that kind of gives me an insight onto what your videos are, but that's okay. My number 4. I want to say my number 4 is Record Store Day, actually, from 2020, or was that last year?
That was last year.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I want to say that's my number 4, to be real, because I like that one more than the first Record Store Day. I mean, I probably had a lot to do with I actually had money to buy stuff this time. I was a little broke back then, but we can glowed up, we bossed up,
We go.
But yeah, because one, I got a lot of vinyls that I actually like that I've listened to since then. I've listened to those Freddie Gibbs ones. I listened to the Slum Village one. I listened to the electronic ones.
Literally, I just remember grabbing the shit and walking over to you, and you were like done at this point. And I'm just like, look, and I had the pinata one, and you're like, oh shit. And you just like walked over and you're just like, oh, excuse me. And you're just like, and you're like, I need to get this shit. Move out my
Mm-hmm. I did that for that one and the Slum Village album because I was like, they only had so many of the Slum Village ones.
Yeah. And we made an agreement. I even told him, I said, because I was before him, and I said, honestly, if there only ends up being one, I'm not going to take it. I just wanted to take it because when we did the Jay Dilla video, it was such a like, I want to kind of get more, like, I want to get more into it sort of thing. So when I saw that was one of the releases, I'm like, well, I have to jump on this. And I knew the moment I told you, you'd be like, fuck, I need that.
Wait, did you listen to that one yet?
I haven't because I've been so stuck in like moving mode and shit. Like, I still have records I bought. Like, I have a whole pile here that I have not like opened and like yet. So
I was about to say, minus that shoe and that bag. I mean, all of those are records that's sitting on my desk.
Wait, the shoe was not from a record store?
No.
Damn it. But that was a good one. That was kind of the like. It's funny that video was flipped than the first one. Like the first one, the majority of the video was us getting there and us hanging out and having fun and joking around. The second one was the vlog part of it was short, and then us goofing off talking about all of our records was the longest part of it. I just keep remembering when I got the Linkin Park record and I started singing it, and you just kind of looked at me. You're just like, oh God, you're getting into this white boy emo shit. And then Alan started singing with me, and then you started smiling, and you were like, I was like, see, Linkin Park's for everyone. Linkin Park's for the children.
I know. Can I get an encore? Do you want more? No, I'm just playing.
Heard that today. I heard that on the radio today.
But the Linkin Park Jay-Z smash up?
Smash up? I did, yes.
That was on the radio?
Yeah, the encore with that. I hear that on the radio. It was on an alt station.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard that before on the radio.
I mean, no, I'm not saying it wouldn't have been played during the time it came out. It's just I'm surprised to hear it on the radio nowadays.
Throwback It's not even Thursday when we're recording. Throwback Wednesday.
Bro,
Slash
way back
Thursday.
Wednesday. Way back Wednesday.
Way back Wednesday. Make that a thing. But
I
okay.
feel like that is a thing.
It needs to be a bigger thing. Because I feel like Throwback Thursday still like everyone talks about that. Well, because you know what Wednesday is? Wednesday's Women Crush Wednesday, isn't it?
Oh yeah, WCW Women Crush Wednesday.
I feel
damn, this brings
like
me
an
back to
old man talking about
yeah, I was about to say this
I'm
brings me back to high
26
school.
and I'm like, Women Crush Wednesday. Ugh.
Remember when Instagram was kind of still new and everybody used to post their WCWs and always post Throwback Thursdays.
What a fucking life.
And back in times were simpler. But while we're playing though, I said my number 4. I need to know your number 4.
Oh, you just want me to go to my number 4? Okay, I'll go to
Oh,
my
wait. You want me to do my number 3 now?
I'll let you
Is that what that was? You
I'll
said 3 or 4, right?
Decide.
Like Big Sean said, I decided. You know,
Lucky
that's
me.
the name of his album. Oh, okay.
That's not from that album.
It's not from that album at all.
Show me who baddest. Show me who baddest.
I think I'm ready to jump out the window.
If I had a gravestone, it would say, my biggest regret in life is I signed Big Sean.
That's so fucked. Dude, man, when I seen him say that, I was like, oh my God, Kanye, bro. And then you know what? I was talking to some people at work about that, and this one guy was like, man, Kanye right. That shit was an L. And I was like, what? You from the city. How do you not like Big Sean? And he was like, because he basically said that Big Sean has superb flow, but as far as bars, no.
You know, man, actually, you're the worst person that I should have done this video because I knew we were going to go into 17 fucking tangents. Do you want me to do number 4 or do you want to do number 3?
I'm sorry. I'm doing number 3.
Okay.
Okay. So my number 4 was the record store video.
Yes.
So my number 3 is Just Ask Nicely.
Low key. There's so many things that I would talk about in that video. That was a story. That video shoot. God.
Yeah, so I remember when they first came up to the idea of that video with me, and I thought to myself, well, this is really fucking different, but you know what? I'll do it. It wasn't too different, actually. It was just like, wow, I can't believe you guys are actually trying to make this video.
And and this is not even an insult, but I want this to be clear too. Probably my favorite thing in that initial run is when I would come, and again, early on, it wasn't a big deal when I was coming up with a lot of shit or most of it, because it was more of like, I knew you guys weren't as big into like the writing and stuff, but I knew you would give me good ideas here and there and I could kind of use that. Every time I'd come to you both with something like a script or like another idea, you both would sit there and give me the look of like, this fucking white boy. And then be like, but this shit is so funny. Like you both would like read it and be like, never in a million years would I think of this. All right, bet. And then we'd go shoot it. So that made me feel comfortable because it was nice that you guys were very aware, like, this is so odd. But okay, like, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, dude. Actually, you know what? We recorded that video during COVID too. I remember that we hadn't seen each other in like 2 months.
Just Ask Nicely? That was our very first video we shot. Ever.
Hey, listen, so hold on. I just completely fucked up the names of the video that I was thinking
Are
of.
you talking about the business venture one?
Yes, that's the one that I'm talking about. I didn't say Just Ask Nicely.
Okay.
That's the
I got you. I was like, because when you said that, I was like, dude, that was in 2018. Okay, so business venture. That was, I remember coming over. Oh, okay. You know what? That makes sense now. Given the
everything that
then you were saying Alan, and I was like, again, this is not even a shot. I'm like, Alan didn't really have a say in Just Ask Nicely.
Yeah, that's why when you said,
I was just like, what are you talking? And I'm like, oh.
That's why when you had said what you had just said, and you were like, yeah, I know I was coming up with stuff in my mind. I was like,
Well, here, I'm gonna say this. We can still talk about it, but my number 4 is that video as well, is the business venture, the April Fool's Day video, if you don't know. So we could just both talk about it. This showed me the potential of what we could do in terms of just comedy, them coming to me last minute being like, we want to change this part. Like the whole ending was not me. The ending was them. They told me we're changing the ending to this alien shit. And I was like, and I just remembered the way, because like when they told me it, I didn't really care because I wasn't really protective of it. I'm like, hey, if it's funny, it's funny. But then the more you explained it, I'm like, this is even more fucking weird. Let's go. Like, let's go. Because I'm like, at this point, I'm like, we might as well go all out. And then us recording the audio for the alien shit. And like, it's just us sitting around my phone. And I'm just like, and then it's just you two going like, oh,
No.
yeah, that was one of those times where I could just feel the energy and just everything going, like everything, like I just felt such a good energy from how we were playing it. And you two were fucking hilarious in that. Like it was so good.
Yeah, like that video, it made me feel that video was fun to make. It was legitimately fun as hell to make.
Yeah, it was simple. The idea came from I was driving Alan to my house and we saw a Brazzers car. It had like a triple X.
Y'all said that.
Yeah.
I remember you said that, but I never believed you that you actually.
It was like a black car. It had orange on it. It had like a triple X fucking license plate. It had that all over the car. And I'm like, are they scouting over here? What the fuck is happening? Probably. And so then the joke, it was kind of a different thing. Like it was always something different. So the original joke was, I remember this now. So Alan, he goes, we were talking and he goes, what we should do is I should wake you and Montez up in the middle of the night and you should both be wearing like kid nightcaps, like your little children. And you're both just sitting there like, why'd you wake us up? And he was going to have like a PowerPoint presentation, or he was going to have like the paper things that like you could just flip the paper and it has all. And I'm like, that is so fucking funny. And then there was other elements to it. And then obviously, I think it was just, we started doing other videos. That was when we originally launched. And then obviously the channel shuttered for a bit. But when we were coming back, I'm like, we need to do this. And so that was early pandemic. That was like a few weeks into it, maybe like no, it was like a week after shutdown because that video was out
in March.
Yeah, because we shot that early.
Mm-hmm. I remember my parents were kind of tripping about it because they were like, "Says if you go around any other people, you ain't coming back over here right now."
Yeah,
I was like, because I was quarantining over there with them the whole time.
Yeah,
because I didn't.
I do remember that. That video, like you said, I think my favorite part of that is it was an original idea. I think the way I was very happy with how I put it together. I was happy with you and Alan in it. I loved how it felt like you both were in on the idea. And I think the reason why I was happy with it is I was like, I don't care whenever you two would be like, hey, can we do this, do this? But it was so fun for you both to be like, I love this, but I think I know how we can even make it funnier. And that's when it excites me, when it's like you really like the material, but then you're like, I want to elevate it. And so when you added that fucking shit at the end, I'm just like, okay. Because I don't remember what my original idea was. I remember I wrote one thing, and then when I got there, I walked in the door and you're both like, listen, we have some changes to make. It's not that much. It's just the ending. And then the fucking stare that Alan makes at the TV, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I was like, what the hell, dude? This shit is just fucking.
Yeah, that shit was kind of weird.
But no, I agree with you. Do you have anything else to say on that video?
Not necessarily, no. Just that was a goofy ass video, and that's probably why it's one of my favorite videos.
It was. That was really good. I think My next video was pretty goofy because it was me being able to say, it was, again, you're gonna hear a similarity with all my videos in terms of what I say. My number 3 is our Star Wars rank 'em.
Yeah.
Again, like the previous video, it was a video where this is what I wanted rank 'em to be. I wanted rank 'em to be this very like clean, very to the point, fun, meme edited, crazy edits. Over time, it got lazy. And it became very clear that it just became a podcast. And it kind of upset me. And that became my issue.
Can I interject one thing?
Yes.
I just want to say that I actually think that is probably my favorite Rankum too. Just because, one, I feel like the song that I gave y'all for that Rankum actually fit the most out of all of the Rankums that I gave y'all music for.
And I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. Like, I'm genuinely not. Even though you said that, and I'm not going to fight you on that, I do feel like the fact that every time you sent us a beat, besides the fast food ones, like those are out of the way. The names you put on them though were fucking hilarious when I would get them in my email. Besides those, like those I don't count. Every song you sent, I was so like, it could have still been just like a boring basic beat. The fact that I could listen to them and be like the Radiohead one I listened to, and I'm like, which I have something to talk about with that video. You know, I'm about to throw you under the bus for that. You know exactly what I'm going to talk about. But like the Nolan one, I basically kind of just gave you a couple notes of like, well, this is how Hans Zimmer usually does his stuff. And like the big whoom you added to it. And like the little, I'm like, it's just the little things that made me go, holy shit, Montez. Like you didn't even, the fact that the beat is really good, you have just these couple little things that made it go. And I agree. I think the Star Wars beat's my favorite because I think it's you stepping outside your comfort zone, and it's you doing something like, it's kind of the whole, you get hired to make something for someone and you want your own personality, but you know you have to follow like a guideline, and it was perfect to Star Wars. Like the song was great. So I agree. The song fit. I love the editing. Costa was so much fun to rank with. It was fun to have the younger perspective. Star Wars, for how much I hate it, I love it. So it's my love-hate relationship. But again, that is what Rankum should have been. And it really upset me when I would hear ideas about like our Dilla one was supposed to have a lot more in it than it did. Yeah. And I loved our Dilla Rankum. But it sort of just became a podcast show. And I didn't want it to just be like a long video of us just sitting there. Like I wanted there to be visual. I wanted there to be moments like that.
And kind of quick and concise to the point.
And like, obviously, I shouldn't have had a Christopher Nolan rank him. He's my favorite director. That video is an hour long. The raw video is 2 hours. Scott and I talked too much. So that was a bad idea. But like that was a bad idea from the beginning. But it felt like, again, this is what Rankum can be. Like, this is what it should be. It was fun. It was fun to shoot. It was just kind of a low grade thing. The song was great. And it just felt like the pacing and the editing of it. It was a fun video to watch. And it was also a fun video to debate. And that's why I liked it. But that's my number 3. So we're going to get into some low moments and some goofs. I want to talk about how Montez thought he was going to be in the Radiohead Rankum. So I messaged Montez. So if you watch my solo channel, I do a show with this guy who's awesome, Joshua Kirk, and he loves Radiohead like I do. And he was like, hey, I would love to do a Radiohead Rankum. I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. So I reach out to Montez in a like, hey, I would love for you to do a Radiohead Rankum song, blah, 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 blah. He reaches back, got you, blah, blah, blah. So he calls me, I called you. I don't know what it was, but I remember contacting you, and you're just like, you were talking to me. And then just like when we were talking about Just Ask Nicely and Business Venture, you were talking to me and I didn't really think anything of it. And then all of a sudden you were just like, yeah, so this is going to be kind of a tight turnaround, huh? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, aren't we shooting this next week? I go, what do you mean we're shooting this? And he's like, I'm in the Radiohead Rankum. Like, I thought you wanted me to listen to every album. And I'm like, No, that was not what it was. So he did uber
Oh,
homework. He listened to all these Radiohead albums. And it was like, from me loving Radiohead, it was so great to hear him because Montez and I, he's one of my favorite people to talk about like different music with because he has such an open mind, and he being more in kind of that jazz, R&B, rap, soul road, when he hears stuff that he appreciates, like he can really latch onto it. So it was fun to talk about it, but I was like, no, it was not.
I'm glad that I didn't have to talk about them for sure, because I feel like I listened to everything, but I kind of skimmed through everything. I didn't
Yeah,
truly get to listen to everything. And I would have been lost in that video.
yeah.
But I'm actually happy I ended up listening to all that music that I did, because I was like, wow, okay, I can see the hype behind Radiohead. I can see it.
It was just so funny to me. Just like, again, like earlier, it was leading and it was leading. And then when it got to the reveal, I was like, wait a minute, what? What?
Yeah. Yeah, crazy,
Um,
right?
I'm trying to think. I always wanted to talk publicly about this. This is like a small stupid one, but I always got really mad at Alan in the Valentine's Day video we did
Why?
because there's a part in the script. So the way I wrote the script was there was a line where he says something about being too much. And then his follow-up line is, well, you're as much as someone is willing to pay or something. It was like a joke that I wrote. But when he shot it, I didn't realize while we shot it, but he did a little improv. So he says a different line. So when he says the joke, it doesn't even connect because he doesn't even set it up. So I remember watching the edit and I went, fuck, this is going to be so awkward. But like, that's just me being nitpicky. And I'm like, how did I not realize that he
You know
didn't
what?
say the line?
I actually kind of remember that. I remember you being a little irritated about that, and I remember
Anyway,
him
yeah.
talking to me about it.
And it wasn't even like, it wasn't a thing against Alan. It's just, I can't believe and that was when I had my terrible stomach ulcer. So I was just probably like, huh, I need okay, I need to finish this video. So I was just probably like, I need to get this over with. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Montez falling a bunch was great. I'm mad. I only got it on video once, and that time wasn't as funny. Your reaction was funny because you were actually alive after it. Sleeping Bear, you were dead for a few seconds. But when we were on Lincoln Park, you fell, and your reaction right after was just you going, and I was like, oh man. And then the fact that the video, like, we cut to me driving, and you're like, yeah, so I couldn't drive home.
I completely. Damn, I didn't fall that much during Us and Our Friends, did I?
No, just those 2 times. I just feel it's like synonymous. But that was also like the OG times. So I feel like you just fell a lot early on.
Okay, that and where were we at again when we were at that? We were in the city somewhere. Were we by the DeQuinder Cut? Maybe we were at a railroad or something.
Is that when your sister ate it? I remember that. Remember we were on the DeQuinder Cut and we were in.
Oh no
not that.
not that.
That's
not
a
that.
different story.
Yeah, that's a completely different. We didn't even record that, but that's
No, we did.
Every time I try to get her to ride a scooter now, she's like, no.
She got PTSD. She's like, I'm good. I don't want to go. Well, I don't know like specifics because there's really nothing else I could think of. I will say we don't have to talk about it too much. Let's talk about our most famous video. I think we can finally talk about it.
Wait, so can I lead that into that being
yes, lead in.
Okay, so
you
just talked about our most famous video. That is actually you know what? It's crazy because I don't know if I want to make that number 2 or number 1 because of another video that I made epic mistakes in.
Oh,
that we were just talking about. But I think I'm gonna put this one at number 2.
Oh, so that'll be your lead into that. So so let's talk about it. So Montez and Alan, they called me the day we shot it, yes? Or was it like the day before? Because it was a quick turnaround.
Wait. Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fake video of Brett calling the cops.
Yeah.
It was a quick turnaround. this was at the time where that white woman with the sunglasses was calling the cops about the black people barbecuing. And yeah, that meme. And these two called me and they're like, we need to do our own. Now, I want to break this down only just a little bit. Like I said, I'll be quick. Coming from my perspective and how we talked about it, nothing about that video was us trying to push a stereotype. Genuinely, I remember they told me, they said, let's make something that is so fucking stupid and people are going to think it's real because of how fucking ridiculous people are. Like, it really was us just being like, how can we put, and to Brett's credit, watching that footage that you shot, I'm like, Brett played it so perfectly. How can you watch this video? And like reading through the comments over the years, because it did decent when it first came out. I got almost 1,000 views. But then when COVID hit, that number, I remember I logged on and said, we just got fucking 10,000 views. What did we get 10,000 views? And I saw it was that video because we would share it like it was real, which maybe that was part of the You're like, what the fuck, man?
Bro, I remember, and people on Facebook were actually commenting and they were like, dude, how did y'all even run into this dude?
I was so uncomfortable. Like, I did it. I'm like, I shouldn't have shared this. I feel so grimy. Like, I was like, oh, I don't. But like, because this was the one rule. I remember before we shot that, all Alan and Montez told me is they said, you've been in every video. You can't be in it because then they'll know it's fake. So if you watch the video and you see where Alan walks into frame, if you look, like, you can't see me, but in those houses back there, I was hiding, watching, and I was on the phone with Brett. So Brett wasn't talking to no one. I was talking to him and responding to him. So he was answering my questions. There's a fun edit in that video too, where you told Brett you're like, Brett, there's a car behind you. And if you listen and watch very carefully, you can hear Montez be like, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Because he says it earlier in the video. And I had to repeat that over it because you said that. I was like, shit, what am I going to do? So I really sat there and was like, okay, I need to like layer this with audio that would perfectly fit. So then it's not Montez going, hey, Brett, there's a car behind you. Be careful.
I remember that actually. Wow. Unlocking hidden parts of my brain.
Like, it was so much fun. And Amir was great. Like, and like, I feel like Alan told me after the fact, he's like, I wish I was more into it, blah, blah. I'm like, honestly, I felt like you were fine. Like, because you weren't on camera long enough. See, you were doing a good job because the whole time you were just like, everything he said, you just would be like, when he said, he's black. And you just stopped and you were like, I could feel like I could see your face going, oh, hell no. Like, that is still one of my favorite reactions. Like that line delivery.
It's funny because I actually just watched that video earlier today and I thought to myself, like, wow, like me knowing how I talk and everything, I'm like, this sounds so manufactured. This doesn't even sound like how I for real talk.
And that's how it goes. Like, because that was early on when you two were kind of like, oh, like, was this good? And I was like, no, it's fine. And then like years later, you're like, oh yeah, I could have done way better. But hey, 100,000 plus views later, people.
And I was reading the comments and I was just thinking to myself, you motherfuckers are so gullible for actually believing.
The small amount of people put the comments of like, just click on another one of their videos. Like, you would know this is a joke. And again, the whole joke was we were making a point of this kind of video. We weren't trying to, because at the end of the day, we agree. We think this is fucking ridiculous. And then wasn't that the same year where the guy was walking his dog in Central Park and the Karen lady was complaining because she's like, oh, this black guy looks suspicious. And he's like, lady, I'm walking my dog. Like,
I remember that. Yeah, hell yeah.
So then it was like, it literally just became that video is gonna remain timeless. Because by the way, I meant to say this. The channel's not going anywhere. Like, the channel's gonna be like archived. So like all the videos will still be up there. The channel, like, and the Instagram. Those are the two that we're gonna keep because you could see the posts because we did some funny little posts and stuff, and the bloopers for Business Venture are still there. And then we're gonna keep the channel. So that stuff, we can look back with rose-colored glasses on. But no, that was always the one video that I'm like, if we ever get to a point where we finally come out and talk about it, or if the channel ends, I felt like there needed to be like let's address the elephant in the room and talk about it. But so that's your number 2 video. And I think I get it. I feel like there is a clear what number 1 is, because you sort of alluded to it. So is number 1 something to do with an animal and they're not awake and and it's also based on the famous
on a movie that just came out,
based on a book, which then became a movie, which then became another movie this past year.
Yeah, because honestly, all right, number 1 video, Sleeping Bear Dunes video.
Yes.
And for me, obviously, it's very obvious why that's number 1 for me. I busted my shit.
You did. So I want to say this real quick, because again, I want to get this out before you talk. It is my number 2. So once again, connective tissue that way. I agree. I'll let you go, because like I agree with that wholeheartedly too.
Okay, so basically the way this video went, whose idea was it to go to Sleeping Bear Dunes actually? Was that yours? It was mine.
So the plan was, I was researching McDonald's pizza.
I remember that. Yeah.
For whatever reason, I didn't check to see if it was still a thing, and it wasn't. The only place you could still get it, which hey, maybe when Montez is when Montez is not busy, maybe I'll be like, hey Montez, we should go to Florida, and while we're there, we should do a vlog and have McDonald's pizza at the biggest McDonald's in Florida. So we might have to do that. But that was my idea. You then made the amazing idea of like, I'm like, we need to figure something out. And so then my suggestion was just, let's do something in Michigan, because I think that would be cool to connect to that. And then you messaged me back like a day or 2 later, and you're like, I've never been to Sleeping Bear Dunes. Have you? And I was like, no. You're like, let's do it. And then that was when Alan was able to come, and that was fun. The 4.5-hour drive back, and then like the 1-hour drive of us driving around Traverse City was not fun. That 10 hours, especially having to climb back up Sleeping Bear Dunes, you being dead, but you were lucky enough not to drive. Also, me almost hitting a fucking deer on the way home, and I thought if this happened, I'd be crying. You both would have woken up to me just sobbing, like, we're not gonna go home. We're gonna die up here. It's over.
I was gonna say, were you driving my car, or were you?
No, I was driving the Grand Dam. Remember my old car?
I remember there was one situation, I think you mentioned it earlier, where you did drive my car because I was like, I can't drive right now.
The Lincoln Park thing. Yeah. Because I remember you drove, and then we had to pull off some weird like exit or entrance, and you're like, I can't drive. I need you to drive. And I was like, okay.
I don't even remember what happened. Like, was I injured, or was I just?
It was because you fell, and then you were still hurting, and you're like, I can't drive. Like, I need you to drive. And I was like, okay. I don't have my glasses, but it's daytime, so at least I won't be completely fucked.
Oh yeah, I remember. Like, I was laying down, but I was actively watching you drive the whole time. Like,
yeah, I'm good. I got you. No, Sleeping Bear, you were a legend because you fell. We were all legends because apparently people were impressed by how fast we got up, even though I felt like we got up in like what? Like, you got up in about an hour. Alan and I got up in about 45 minutes or so. But I feel like people were going quicker than us. So I was kind of like, really? We were that fast? Apparently that's what Alan said. I went to the car when Alan was talking to people.
I was about to say, wait, let me explain how this even happened for the people.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that. Yeah. So you brought up Sleeping Bear.
Yeah, I brought up Sleeping Bear, and Brian was like, all right, let's go. So then on the way there, we stopped in. Did we stop in Traverse City?
Yeah, Traverse City. Yeah.
We wanted to get some cherries because don't quote me on this. I know Traverse City is a cherry capital of Michigan. I don't know if it's a cherry capital of the United States. But
I would not be surprised.
But it's the cherry capital of Michigan.
Yeah.
And we went there originally because I was like, let's get some white cherries from there, because They gotta be bussing,
And
right?
the worst part of this was I completely forgot it wasn't the 4th of July, but it was the 4th of July weekend. So when we got there, it was so fucking busy. They had like a carnival little like thing going on. And I was like, holy shit.
And then we get there just for them to be like, oh yeah, cherries won't be in season until like another 2 weeks. And I was like, you bitches.
Yep,
So
pretty much.
we got McDonald's from there. You got mad at Alan for something. I don't remember what. But you got mad at Alan for something when we were at McDonald's.
Of course.
And we drove to Sleeping Bear Dunes. We got there, started taking pictures and everything. We get to the dunes, we're like, wow, this looks so amazing. And then I didn't mean to sound like Owen Wilson, that just happened. But yeah, we get to the Bear Dunes or whatever. And they were like, all right, cool. Yeah, let's walk down. We FaceTime our mommies and everything.
I remember that.
I remember my mom specifically saying, Tez, be safe out there. Don't do anything dumb. I was like, I won't. Like 3 seconds later, my ass decides to skip. I'm just like skipping sideways though, down the dune. I'm not just going straight down.
And this is a good, because now I want to give you my context of whatever video, because I don't remember specifically, but there was a bit like when I was recording the footage, I'm pretty sure the video before it cut to me looking up and it was like the focus in on you. That was the last video I shot. I shit you not. I put my phone away. Not even 10 seconds later, I look over and see Alan, and Alan and I are talking, and then out of nowhere, this fucker is like just going down the hill. And I remember, I don't know if I was yelling to you or if I told Alan this, but I think I remember being like, he's gonna fucking fall if he keeps doing this. Like, he's not being smart. And then I just remember looking down, and you just went down. And just, I watched you roll. And the scariest part, this was when I legit, like, even though my reaction, because at the end of the day, yes, we're fucking assholes to Montez. Like, I thought it was funny. But when he was going and he went up and just went, and he went missing, I straight up was like, I almost fell on my knees and started crying. I was like, oh my fucking God, Montez, oh my God, Montez just died. Or like, we're gonna need to fucking get a boat here on Lake Michigan, because now we have to go we can't go all the way back up. We're on Lake fucking Michigan now. He's dead. He is seriously injured. So then that's when I started recording, and then I just remember when we got home and I was editing it, I just remember clicking play on the video. All you hear is me go, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that.
I really have wished one of y'all got that on video, because the experience for me, okay, so he just gave you the outside perspective. I'm going to give you the perspective of me tumbling down that bitch. So yeah, I was skipping sideways down the dune. I skipped past him at some point. And then I remember Brian or Alan saying, like, you better slow down. And I was like, I'm being careful. And then after a while, I was like, oh, I'm getting faster and faster. And then I got to a point where I was like, no, let me stop, because in a minute, I'm not going to be able to control myself. And I tried to stop, and I was like, oh, shit, I cannot stop. So at that point, I was like, all right, I gotta keep this momentum going for as long as I can. And then eventually I lost my footing. I tripped up on myself. I fell. I started tumbling down. Now, I don't know if they were over exaggerating or not, but Brian and Alan always tell me that I fell off like a 20-foot cliff or some shit.
Yeah, okay. So Alan, I think, said that. So genuinely, I didn't know what happened, because all I remember seeing is you were rolling, and like, when I explain it, clearly I'm being a little dramatic, but you genuinely like went up. Like, you hit the end of where that hill was, and I saw you go like, whoop, and you just went, whoop. And I'm like, where the fuck did he go? So and when you see that on video, it's not big. if like you're standing next to it. But if you're rolling your ass full speed down it, it's a lot to then go whoop down. Like it was not 20 feet. I would probably say it was maybe half that, maybe a little even less than that. But in the moment of you going, it's big enough to where if you're falling up in the air and you go hitting the ground, it's going to do a little bit. It's going to do a little bit. So, but that's when I freaked out on camera, because that's when I figured out, because when you went missing, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Where did he go? And when I saw there was like that cliff part, I was like, oh my gosh, there's not been any of these this entire time. And then fucking Heat just decides I'm going to roll my ass fucking Burt Ramp style going, pew!
Listen, I rolled down that shit. I actually remember when I was rolling, I remember not feeling ground for like a few seconds. And I was like, what the fuck in my head while I was rolling. And then I hit the ground. I think my glasses came off.
Yes, they did. And we somehow found them
before I even went off of that hill. And I remember landing. First thing I thought to myself was, oh my God, my foot feels fucking horrible. Literally was my first thought. That and, ew, I got all this damn sand in my mouth. So I spit that shit out. I started to go to the lake and rinse my mouth out. But then I was like, ew, no, I don't even want to do that because that's fucking disgusting. So I think somebody ended up giving me their bottle of water and I got my mouth rinsed out that way. Everybody down there is comforting me and shit. Then I had to start the long ass trek back up the dune. Alan and Brian started climbing before me or whatever. They tried to stay with me, but their ass was just moving. I was still in pain. My foot was legitimately fucked up to the point where, like, how do I even describe that? I think it was my big toes. Like, if I put any type of pressure onto my right big toe, it destroyed me. And that's why it took me so long to get up the dune, because I couldn't like climb properly. I had to kept like doing it in some inverted way or move my foot in a certain movement in order for me to climb.
I want to say, because I'll wrap it up time wise with this one statement. So I want to say, so about the vlog, that's when we were doing long vlogs. Even though it's long and I could tell I could have cut it down, I still do not skip a second of it. Every time I watch it, I still just because every second gives me that nostalgia of like, I don't care if I added in the 30 seconds Allen shot. It just gave me all those memories. I'm like, this was just so much fun. And all of you were so helpful and stuff. But I want to say what was the point that climbing back up the hill. All I'm going to say is I started moving fast because, hey, I don't fucking care if I'm being dramatic. Legit, I started seeing shit and I thought I was going to die. We had no water. It was like 90 degrees. That was the hottest day.
You know what? Yeah, and that sand was fucking burning.
And it was burning. Like
barefoot climbing that.
Talking to Alan, the last clip before it cuts to my outro, I legit was getting paranoid. Like, I felt like I was like, I'm dying here. I have no water. I'm going to die. I am burning. I thought I was going to die. Straight up. No ifs, ands, or buts. But you know what? Hot.
I cheated death.
Flaming hot. It was a flaming hot day.
You know what? Is this your number one?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you said flaming hot. So
no, it is number one. I got you. I fucking got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you played that well. I will give you that one. You played that off really well.
It really was, and I acted awkward on purpose. Yes, that is.
Because for a minute I was like, wait, damn, you're not talking about like flaming hot sand or something, are you?
No, I'm not.
I was just gonna say before you got into that.
Yes.
I was so stuck on putting that in my list, and honestly that gets an honorable mention, to be real, because I wanted that in the list.
I want to say this after when and I'll keep it brief. So with our other songs, Montez had a really big strict rule with me, which when he told me this, I'm like, you know what, you make sense. Stop doing parroting stuff. Do our own thing. We can take inspiration, go our own way. However, the more I go back to that song, I still feel like the fact that, because I feel like that song is the different one. Like all three of them are different. The first song was fun and it was a parody. The second song was me legitimately like, I'm going to write some real shit. Then the third song was us making something that was kind of a novelty song, but it still sounded cool.
Yeah.
I think that is my most quoted song when anyone brings up anything Us and Our Friends related.
What, us, Flamin' Hot?
Flamin' Hot. I heard every lyric from that. We wrote half of that song July, like the summer of 2017 when we would all hang out. And then we kind of shelved it. And then when we came back to it, we're like, oh, we have to do this. The day we shot the video, us driving around to Meyer, us going to Target and doing the thing, fucking just that day, like you were saying, it was fun to shoot. The song was clever. It was what it was trying to be. Low key, I still loved like the beat. It did it. I think you did not need to. It sounds so bad, so stupid, but it also is legit. Like you did not need to go that hard on the beat. like because it serves its purpose. Like I don't listen to that and go, wow, this was so like
musical or something.
Musical. I'm legit just like, this was just so much fun. And I just felt like editing the fact that even me editing the behind the scenes video for it was almost just as good. Like me doing like my own alternate version of that music video in the second half of that video, I'm like, we still had so much funny stuff. Like it was just so perfect. But I love the song. It was just, again, like not to, and this is me not trying to be too emotional or corny. It was just for Montez and I to work on something like that. It was just one of those like, this is what we can do. And that's what I love so much. And that's what I would hope when I move on. Maybe Montez, maybe we can do some more stuff because I think it's magical. That was a little weird, but we make magic together.
Oh, are you trying to invoke the imagination?
Maybe.
Is that what you're trying to do?
It's been real. You know, it's like just talking about it. It's as much as I have certain gripes that have been brought up, which are, you know, are obvious. I think, you know, it's a lot of this opened my eyes to certain things, certain paths. This isn't a video saying we're done. This is just Us and Our Friends is the end of Us and Our Friends. This is, you know, I think I was not upset that we tried again because I don't really think what we did those 2 years was bad. I actually think we did a lot of interesting stuff. And I think we did a lot of stuff outside our comfort zone there. And we really expanded and did interesting things. And, you know, like I said, there was a few moments that let me down, but overall I was having so much fun. I got to fucking try and be a real actor and play Matt Stafford, which was fun. Even though literally I would know when my voice was legitimately like really good. And then the moment I shot the video and I watched it, I was like, God damn it, I didn't get the voice that good. But hey, practice makes perfect. So maybe I'll do a part 2 or something.
So look, I was just gonna say, I just kind of am a little sad that I couldn't really be in like the second half of the relaunch due to work issues and just life issues and stuff. But I was there in spirit.
You know, all I know at the end of the day is it just made me think like, you know, I would love Montez and I to do more stuff and you all will know about it. Like, you know, if you follow
No, they won't.
Oh no, it's gonna be secret.
No, they won't. Yeah, they just don't know. They gonna know about it when they see it. They won't know about it beforehand, though.
Oh, okay. They'll know about when they see it.
They'll know when they know. If you know, you know.
You know. I wish I could just say that's the best way to end it. Love you all. Goodbye. But I need to still do my like extended outro. But that's the best way to wrap all that up. Basically. To the people who we annoyed, to the people around us, to the people who aren't around us, and you're watching from anywhere, as much as it's corny and ridiculous, thank you so much, because this is something I've been wanting to do forever. And the fact that even though it didn't work, it was still crazy to me to feel like this idea of Us and Our Friends became a thing. and I'm low-key being honest right now. I was so cynical. I'm kind of getting choked up right now. But like, it's crazy. It's just so crazy to reminisce and just what we were able to accomplish and how proud I am of what we did. And again, this chapter's closed. You go to the next one. It's the whole one door closes, one door opens, sort of that, all that corny poster shit you would see in like your work or your school, all that stuff. Yes. But yes, thank you all so much. We appreciate it so much. And yeah, you have to join us on our next journeys. Please. We'd love it, because I think what's next, it's going to be crazy. Especially with something specific that I want Montez and I to do together, but that'll be a off-camera conversation. And I think he knows, but.
Do I?
I mean, we are two boys, right? Boys, right? And we used to live in a city for a long time before we both moved. The Boys of Warren or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was a tease, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't just that was a terribly placed teaser.
Kind of.
Let's see if that happens. It should, because it will be amazing. Love
Amazing
you all.
Spider-Man?
Huh?
I said amazing like Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be in Spider-Man No Way Home. Shut the fuck up, Andrew.
Bro, what do you mean? That man got photoshopped in the entire movie. That wasn't him.
I saw it, and it's a Photoshop.
And by the way,
yes,
who is Spider-Man?
That's a good question. There was this kid that started at my at my job. He's starting as an intern. I'm trying to think of his name. His name's like Jeter Lorker?
Jeter Jobber?
Jeter. The amazing Jeter Jobber. The spectacular Jeter Jobber.
Oh man, imagine Jameson yelling at that man going, Jobber!
Jeter Jobber! I need pictures of Spider-Man!
Oh man. Oh, okay. One last thing I'm gonna say, and then we'll just this is just between
This is a messy outro, just like the rest of the entire fucking channel.
I was just thinking about No Way Home, and at this point,
is a No Way Home discussion now.
Well, I was about to say this is it, but at this point, there's no more fucking spoilers, bro. If you haven't seen this movie already, then that's on you. It's really on you. There's no spoiling shit anymore. I was gonna say I remember that scene when Jameson fucking pulled up in the van or whatever. And he was like, I told you I want incriminating pictures of Spider-Man. I was like, oh my God, they really made him say that. And nobody else in the theater like did anything about that. I'm like, did you guys not hear what he just said?
I think just your statement there proves that there's going to be one person that watches this whole video and they're going to be like, oh my God, this is so sweet. And then for whatever reason, they haven't seen the movie and they're just going to be sitting and all they're going to hear is Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man No Way Home. What the fuck?
I mean, like I said,
that's how spoilers usually get spoiled. You're just fucking, oh, look, Kanye West put out a new song and la da da da. Tobey Maguire shows up in the last third of and you're like, what?
Yeah. Huh? Who? Huh? No.
This is a mess. Hope you enjoyed it. This went not as good as I thought it would, but guess what? We did it. So see you all on our next adventure. And
it's been real, guys. I will say that it's been real. You will see us again. In what capacity? In what capacity that may be in? I'm not quite sure. But
we're gonna talk to Montez about my pyramid scheme, about how we're gonna kill ourselves and we're gonna actually become an NFT.
You said all right, deuces. That's it.